Hey everyone, this is Pastor Bell with just a quick word, and today I want to talk about failure and Easter. And I know those two things might not seem like they go together, but they do intersect in some interesting ways. In a recent sermon, Pastor Chris talked about being a perfectionist, and I sort of resonate with that in that I don't like any of my mistakes or failures to be public. I make a mistake by myself, that's fine. But when I do it in front of other people, it's incredibly embarrassing. I never want to seem unprofessional. I never want to seem like I'm failing or I'm incompetent. I like to keep up the illusion that I know what I'm doing here as a pastor and as a dad and as a person in general. But the truth of life is we all experience failures and mistakes and setbacks. There are things that we plan that we think are going to be awesome, and then they just fall to pieces, and it's a whole mess. And there are expectations that are not met. There are things that seem to be complete disasters and failures, and we're left wondering what we should have done differently and why didn't this work, and we can feel upset with ourselves, with other people, and all the rest. And to be honest, in the last few years, this has seemed to be happening more because as the world changes and changes more rapidly, the things that used to work for years are no longer working. And even if we discover something new, it seems to have a shorter shelf life. So there's a lot more trial and error in ministry. A lot of times where we think something might work well and it doesn't quite work out, or we think something's going to be great and it just flops. Here's where that intersects with Easter. When Jesus is on the cross and he is dying, when he dies on Good Friday, it's a total disaster. It's an absolute mess. Everything has gone wrong, and to the people there, it seems like a total failure. This guy, he was going to be the Messiah. He was going to make things wonderful again. He was going to restore the kingdom of Israel, and he's dead. And that's the end of it. Of course, we know the rest of the story, that on the third day, Jesus rises from the dead. He is brought back to life, and that failure is turned around into a new source of life and inspiration and salvation for the whole of humanity. Well, very often our failures can seem like deaths, right? They can feel like, oh man, that event just died. Didn't work out at all, and we're left wondering how we failed so badly. And yet, inside of each of those failures is something we can learn, is something that can help us grow. Right? A failure, there's a saying, a failure is only a failure if you don't learn anything from it. And that's very true. And so when we have this trial and error, particularly for the things that we do for the church, and I'm not just talking about pastors or staff or professionals, I'm talking about all of us and the ministries that we participate in and the things that we try, even in the people that we invite, to come with us to church. There's lots of failures when you do that, to be honest. But if we are willing to look at that and say, okay, what can I learn from that? What can I draw from that? Then that failure can become a source of inspiration, and it can become a way that we grow as human beings. It's not quite a resurrection, but it is a way in which we can continue to rise as a church and continue to meet new challenges by accepting that, sometimes we're just going to fail. Sometimes we're going to have this wonderful idea and it's just going to go and it's going to drop all over the place. But we take a moment, we have the feelings we need to have, we look at what happened, what worked, what didn't, and what we can learn from it, and then we go forward, knowing that just as Jesus rises again, he invites us to rise every day from our failures, from our mistakes, from whatever is happening in life. He invites us each day to get up again and try again, to learn and to grow so that we can continue to experience this new life in Christ daily. So, the next time you have a failure in something you are trying to do for other people, or even something that you are trying to do for yourself, realize that failure is not the end of the story, and it's not where you have to stop. Instead, know that failure can be a source of new inspiration. You can learn from it, you can grow from it, and you can rise again and continue to do the work that God has called you to do. Continue to build your skills as a person and continue to be the child of God that you are already created to be. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying the nicer spring weather that is coming through, and I hope to see you soon here at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. Bye now.